Part 2. The Barcelona's Temple of la Sagrada Familia. Crypt of the Colony Gual President of the Temple Sagrada Familia. Before building the schools of the Sagrada Familia, Gaudí experimented in the crypt of the Colonia Gual, the catenary geometry of the loads that the upper temple, not built, would give rise to. For this purpose, he even built a model with bags of lead, spheres, and wires that, when seen upside down, the mirror represented the inverse of the materials and forms of what he intended to build with stone. It should be noted the importance of arranging the inclined supports following the load directions. The Sagrada Familia Forest. Gaudí's mentality in relation to architecture and its relationship with nature was perfectly captured in the nave of the Sagrada Familia, where a set of supports rising inclined towards the sky opened like tree branches to support the roof and the various towers above them. Jesus, Holy Mary, and 4 evangelists. The arrangements of the light with its stained glass windows of different colors to the east and west from a singular space of original luminosity. Comparison of the structure of the Cologne Cathedral with the Sagrada Familia. Gaudí's intention to achieve a slim support than the Gothic nave of Cologne, the largest at that time, is well known. To achieve this, Gaudí obviated the flying buttresses over the lateral naves and pinnacles of the Gothic crutches by centering the direction of the loads with the supports to avoid thrust. His invention was to arrange the inclined pillars in the direction of the loads. Both churches could hold maximum of 12,000 parishioners between the columns of their naves. The 18 towers that culminate Gaudí's Sagrada Familia with vertical parabolical section. The Temple of the Sagrada Familia is a tribute to the Catholic religion, dedicating its towers to the Gospel, 12 to the Apostles, 4 on each facade, Nativity East, Passion West, and Glory South. Another 4 to the Evangelist over the main nave, and another 2 to the Virgin Mary over the altar, and to Jesus over the transept, the latter being 172.5 meters high and marking the highest temple in Christianity, with a viewpoint over Barcelona in the form of a cross. Nativity facade made entirely of natural stone during Gaudí's lifetime. During Gaudí's lifetime, the architect was only able to finish the facade of the Nativity with all its sculptures and religion references. It is important to note that only one handed sculpted stone ashlars were used, and the 4 towers of the Nativity facade were placed on top of each other in pairs, and it can be visited with their very original spiral staircases. In addition to the stone sculptures of the nativity scene, the towers are finished with ceramic tinakites, glory facade in reinforced concrete. The tower are to be built. In 1968, the Spanish government published the first seismic norm, contemplating it in a degree of mathematics, far from the geometrical rules of Gaudian calculation. This led to the obligation to use steel and in stone masonry, being then impossible and forced to use reinforced concrete in the core of the elements, covered by thick stone cladding. Nave side gables, prefabricated fiber reinforced concrete. Later, with the development of variants of reinforced concrete with lightweight aggregates and glass fiber, the side gables of the temple naves were formed with the fine finish of the mold. The use of precast, which is glass reinforced concrete, was subsequently abandoned. Simultaneously, other stone bodies were being built, which were adorned with brightly colored plant motifs, as shown in the picture, made from the pieces of ceramic. Prefabricated construction of the towers with the stone models with structure of steel profiles and reinforced concrete. The construction process was definitely accelerated when the press-dressing steel was used, though previous perforations in the stone outlets compressing them together. This made it possible to prefabricate the models of the last towers in the workshop, which were put into place using steel support and reinforced concrete between the models. Numerical cutting by machine for a single piece and hand hammering for an antique look. The technological and computerized evolution of numerical controls makes it possible today to shape perfectly finished stones, regardless of their complex geometry, preserving them for the special piece of the temple. However, the prismatic cut of the ashlars to be joined together pre-stress would give a smooth outer face that would contrast too much with the beginnings of the temple. This would make it necessary to chisel and hammer out the exposed face by hand. Panoramic view of the current Sagrada Familia with the Mediterranean in the background. The volume of the Sagrada Familia, located in the heart of the city as expansion area next to Barcelona diagonal, stands out for its geometry above the octagonal blocks of the surrounding area. The height of its towers just out over the sea of the houses in Barcelona, with the last tower dedicated to Jesus standing 172.5 meters above the city and nearing completion. The proximity of the Mediterranean Sea shows the setting in which the ancient Roman city of Barcelona is situated, with the Cedra extensions of the 19th century. Viewpoint of Barcelona through the cross of the towers dedicated to Jesus at 172.5 meters high. The highest tower of the Sagrada Familia is expected to be completed by 2026 to commemorate the centenary of GAUDI's death. The Tower of Jesus, which, like the others, will have interior stairs to enjoy them, will culminate in the three-dimensional cross with transparent areas through where you can enjoy the views of the city of Barcelona from what will be the highest Christianity temples.